is all about is a program. It takes about 30 to 35 professionals all over Orange County, whether they're accountants, teachers, elected officials, lawyers, puts them all in a bunch and takes part in a leadership training program. You take 1 month out of the year, you take the whole day, 8 to 5 p.m., and you go to a different place. It could be the OC 911 Center, it could be consumer protection, it could be quality of life. Sorry, Terrence Mahoney, oh my gosh.
Hello, Mayor.
I'm sorry to interrupt what I was saying, but this is my high school history teacher. Sorry, I apologize for that. That is pure, raw emotion right there. He taught me everything about politics. The first word I heard about politics...
Was it from him?
No, it was from him. I was going to say, Ronald Reagan, Ronald Reagan, Ronald Reagan. But Terrence, what about these people? No, Ronald Reagan, Ronald Reagan. But don't you think, no, Ronald Reagan. Okay, all right, I get it. No. All right, but that's where I was. I was at a Leadership Orange class project fundraiser. And although we are adults in the program right now, our class project was to develop a junior Leadership Orange program, which is to facilitate the same thing with 8th graders. We've raised about $20,000 in the last few months, going to different service organizations, putting out a massive mailer. And we will be able to have 2 kids from every school district in Orange County take part in this Junior Leadership Orange program, to take pride in where they come from, to be proud of Orange County. And the reason is you got to get them at a young age. You got to instill at an early age that being proud of where you are is important. Because when they get their education, we don't want them to be a statistic in the next census. We don't want them to go down south where it's cheaper to live because taxes are so high up here. We want them to make that sacrifice, the sacrifice that I made, the sacrifice that Colin over here has made, that all of us have made, to say we're going to come back home after we get our education and make where we live a better place. That's what that program's all about. That's why I was a little late, and I thought it would go in well with our event this evening because this is all about leadership and youth and leadership. And that's all that program's about. So that's where we were. We made about $1,500, and that will help the program. But, thank you. Briefly, I'd just like to let you know, I got to correct Raquel. Although I like hearing that. I'm not the youngest mayor in the country.
Oh, no.
That's okay.
You are.
I am the youngest, although I don't look it. I am the youngest Latino mayor in the state of New York.
Okay.
So that I have.
All right.
When I got elected at the age of 23, at that time I was the youngest mayor currently serving at that time in the state. Now at 26, there's a couple of them. I know the mayor of Goshen is actually 4 months younger than me, so I'm not even the youngest mayor in the county, which is fine,
Okay.
But that's exciting. But what happened was, I didn't think I was going to be in politics my whole life. I didn't. Ask Terrence Mahoney here. Can you think of me in that class getting into politics years later?
Not when you were in trouble in my office.
No way! What's going to happen? In fact, I was one of those kids who we all hear about, we all look about, and we look down on sometimes. That ignorant kid. The one who, I'm registering to vote, what does that mean? I was a basketball player. I played college basketball, I worked hard. That is what I loved. When I got hurt a repeated amount of times, tore my ACL, broke my right hand, my shooting hand, tore my right ankle, I looked up and I said, oh, somebody doesn't want me to play basketball with my life. And I ended up losing my scholarship, my Division II basketball scholarship, and I had to transfer to Brooklyn College. That is where I got my political education. And it's funny, because I remember Terrence probably knows this very well. I was doing an internship down in D.C., and I called him. And I'm in Brooklyn, so we know how politics is in Brooklyn. So I called Terrence and I'm really torn here. You know, I'm so happy you're here. It's great. I'm really torn. You know, these people, they want to do good things. And Terrence knows me. I'm a good person. I want to do good for people. So in my heart, I said, this sounds good. I called my father. He'd just yell at me whenever I talked about any liberal stuff I was learning. But Terrence told me, he says, you know what? Don't pressure yourself. You know, do what you have to do. Learn for yourself. And then when you get home, we'll have a conversation. And by the time we got home, and I realized all that we were doing, I was conservative. I knew where I came from. I knew, like my father knew, when he was 16 years old, growing up in the city of Newburgh, dirt poor, and he was marrying a Puerto Rican who came from Puerto Rico, had to learn English, my mother. They had 5 kids. I was the youngest of 5 kids. I saw every single day firsthand what hard work really was. My father, when he lost his job, we had 5 kids to take care of, he could have taken a welfare check. He would have gotten more money on his welfare check than the 3 jobs he had to work. But he ended up working. And he never said a word to me. He didn't have to say a word to me. I saw that every single day. And that work ethic, that conservative work ethic, to say, I don't want a handout. I want to work for my own. I want to show my kids it's not about getting a handout. It's about making it yourself. Working hard yourself. I saw that. And that's conservatism. And there's 3 principles that I live by. One is family. I come from a large family. My mother's Puerto Rican. If Ruben Estrada was here, he'd say, yep, that's the Rican in you.
That's me.
That's
I'm Puerto
Raquel
Rican
too. But what it is it's about family. It's not just your blood family. It's about the people around you, treating them as family. That's the mindset that I take into politics, is forming a family, forming people that are going to be around you, surrounding yourself with individuals, knowing that your experiences are not all-encompassing. When I came home from college and I decided to run for mayor, I called Terrence up. He was laughing at me. But there was a few people who said, you know what, do it. We believe you can do it. And I gotta tell you, I didn't know anything about local politics. My background was lobbying elected officials, going up to Albany, D.C., and I said, at some point, after about a year and a half, although I loved the political process, I knew that's what I wanted to do with my life, I said, I don't want to beg elected officials. I want to aspire to become an elected official. So when I came home and I said, I want to be mayor of Waltham, I didn't know what that meant. Didn't know what it meant. I learned in about 3 weeks. I got some talking points together, and I went door to door in the village of Walden, and I said, guess what? I'm running for mayor. I'm born and raised in the village of Walden. I know I can do a good job. I've been to some meetings. I believe I have the intelligence to learn things. I don't know everything. I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm going to tell you, I made a mistake. This is how we're going to make it better. And I went door to door, and I told people that's what I was going to do, and I won an election against an incumbent mayor and a trustee who was serving on the board for 14 years. And people believed what I said, because I said it and it was genuine. It doesn't matter how you say it. It can be soft, it can be loud, you can barely be talking. But if it's truth and if it's genuine, people will see it in your eyes. I believe that. That's what I represent. In that first year, I made a lot of mistakes. I did. I admitted to it. You can look at the minutes of all my meetings, you'll see me at a public meeting saying, I got that wrong. To me, that's what true leadership was. That's what Terrence always taught me, to be accountable. Accountability is something this government doesn't know anything about at any level. And it's something that our young people need to take into consideration as well. Because there's too many young people, although there's not a lot in this room, too many young people who have this, you know, the world owes me something. And it bothers us. It bothers Nick, I'm sure. It bothers Colin. We've talked about it. It bothers me. But it's not all of us. And the people that think the glass is half empty, it's not. It's not full. But you have to have the mindset. You can't believe everything you read in the paper, all the negative stories. What you need to do is say, there is the best of us, not the worst of us. And make that better and tap into that. When I got elected mayor, I did make some mistakes, but we've been able to make some really great changes. We passed 2 annual budgets at a less than 1% increase, both 0% budgets. We've had triple-digit surpluses in the last 2 years. We've been able to form programs. Rachel, raise your hand. There's Rachel Selesky. She's 18 years old. She's going to college next year. We have 18 jobs for a youth employment program in the village of Walden. Money that we were able to save from a little police department over time that we were able to cut the budget. They weren't too happy with me. And we put it into a youth employment program. And the youth employment program gives money to local businesses to hire on their own help. So now the local businesses that can't afford to hire can afford to hire. They have the work. The kids are getting their experience. They're also going to workshops where they choose how to write a resume, the importance of setting up your own bank account, and just to be overall job ready. We get 18 youth in the village of Walden, the ages of 15 to 18 now have jobs. Rachel's one of those people. So Rachel, it's for you. Family and faith. Those are 2 of my 3 principles. Faith because when I was getting injured playing basketball, I was pretty blockheaded. But I loved basketball. Loved it. Loved it with all my heart. I worked so hard to get to that level. So no matter how much I got hurt, I said, you know what, we're going to get healthy, we're going to do it again. And the same went through when I went from the basketball arena to the political arena. Every time someone told me you're not going to do it, prepare to lose, I didn't believe them. I worked hard. I believed in myself. I believed in the people around me. I believed in surrounding myself with people who weren't going to say, great job. I surround myself with people every day who tell me what I'm doing wrong. We're recording this speech so that when I go home I say I'm talking too much with my hands. I didn't look to this side of the room or that side of the room because I want to be better. You want to be better. That is faith. And I didn't know it until a couple years ago. But every time I got knocked down and got back up, I took it for granted. I didn't recognize what it was. But now I do. I recognize it's faith. I talk to everybody else and say, that is faith. When you say, I don't know how I do this, but you know, I have the strength to do it, that's faith. It's faith in God, it's faith in your religion, and although I'm a proud Catholic, I truly believe in freedom of religion. I just came from a Tibetan Buddhist ceremony. We're opening a Tibetan Buddhist temple in the village of Walden. The second to the Dalai Lama was in Walden. We had